I'll be honest with you, I've never really liked Malamar much. It just looked kind of weird. It was pretty cool that it had its own new evolutionary method in that you have to flip your DS over, or rather your 3DS over, when it reaches the appropriate level just so that you can actually evolve it. But aside from that, the only thing Malamar really has is its ability Contrary, which isn't even exclusive to it anymore. There's actually a bunch of other Pokemon, I was gonna say monsters, Pokemon that actually have this ability. But basically what it does is that it makes it so that any moves that would normally lower your stats, the biggest example for Malamar is Superpower, instead of lowering your stats, it actually raises your stats. So instead of losing one stage of attack and defense, you actually gain a stage of attack and defense. That's all it pretty much has. Its dark psychic typing doesn't really give it much to go on. It's, you know, a pretty decent typing offensively, but defensively it leaves it open with a lot of weaknesses that it doesn't really cover all that well. I mean, I guess it does, but 4 times weak to bug isn't great, especially when 2 of the Ultra Beasts are bug types, so that doesn't help. It's also weak to fairy. A lot of fairies are out there. Its defenses are pretty shit in general, so the fact that it takes neutral damage from fighting doesn't really help it out much either. But in any case, this is going to be an NU match. I got a pretty decent team, quite honestly. Aside from Malamar, I think if I switched out Malamar for someone else, this team would actually be pretty good. My 2 favorites are obviously the Golbat and the Malamar. I'm sorry, the Golbat and the Vileplume. I just said that because obviously it's his episode and he's right next to him, but quite honestly, you could give a shit about Malamar. Golbat, I've already showed what he can do. He's great with Eviolite and Taunt. And then aside from that, we got here the Vileplume, which is my new favorite. I managed to use it with Black Sludge, Effect Spore. It has Strength Sap, which is a new move in Sun and Moon, which I thought was only exclusive to that random mushroom Pokemon. I forgot what it's called. It's Grass Fairy. But I guess maybe because of Ultra Sun and Moon, Vileplume learns it as a move tutor move. But basically what it does, it allows you to increase your health in respect to the opponent's Pokemon's attack stat. It doesn't do any damage to them, it just increases their health. And it also lowers their attack. So it's a great move, especially on Vileplume, who's not exactly bulky, but you know, he can survive a hit or 2. But more importantly, he also has Sleep Powder and Leech Seed, so he can be pretty annoying and last for a pretty long time. Typhlosion is pretty basic, just, you know, Eruption, I believe it's Specs. I believe he's Choice Specs this time around. Scraffy is a pretty interesting set. He's actually a Dragon Dancing Rest set with Shed Skin to wake him up so you can come out and, you know, punch it. He has Drain Punch to heal himself, and then finally Knock Off for a stab, and because Knock Off is obviously great. And then Jellicent is just basically Jellicent. So nothing too crazy, but in general they work out pretty well. They're pretty defensive. Could probably use a little more offense, which, I mean, that's kind of where Malamar was supposed to come in. But in any case, go ahead and I start out with Zubat Woman here. My opponent starts up with the Seismitoad, and I immediately go for the Taunt because I don't want to get hit with rocks, which this thing got canceled out from. I hit this thing with Toxic. It actually hits me with Knock Off, which means I lose my Eviolite, which is not great, because I kind of depend on that, but in any case, I switch out, go into my Nub here, and my opponent actually switches out as well, goes into their Zatu. I switch, go into my Scraffy, fearing a Psychic, and I was right. My opponent switches out, goes into their Bravery. I hit it with a knockoff, and then I switch out, go here into my Jellicent, who gets knocked the fuck out from this Bravery, and I decide, fuck it, I'll just stay in. Maybe he'll use no Bravery. He does not. I get hit with his headbutt, and down goes Jellicent. After that, I managed to outspeed this thing. I just go for an Eruption, finish this thing off. My opponent goes out into his Seismitoad again, and I go out into my Zubat Woman. Unfortunately, he already manages to throw out the rocks. I go for a Roost to get my HP back. I get hit with a Psychic, and obviously because I don't have the Eviolites, I can't survive that. Not that I'm sure that I would have anyways. But down goes Golbat, I go into Scrafty, my opponent switches out here into the Whimsicott. I hit that thing with a knockoff, it's Lumberry. After that I switch, go into my Vileplume here. My opponent hits me with a Moon Blast, does pretty much no damage, but it does lower my special attack, which is a bit annoying. After that, my opponent switches. I go for the Sludge Bomb, pretty sure he was going to switch to use the Magic Bounce on me. After that, I switch, go into my Scrafty here, get hit with an Air Slash, take a shit fuck ton of damage, which is really lame. There's not really much I can do at that point because the Stealth Rocks would kill me, so I just stay in and die, let it hurt itself a little bit with the Life Orb. Then I go into Typhlosion here, go for the Hidden Power, don't do any damage. I was expecting him to actually switch, but he did not. Now I'm locked into, I believe it's Hidden Power Grass. Thankfully, he uses Psychic and kills himself from the Life Orb. He does switch his Psychic, but he is faster than me because of the paralysis and finishes me off with the Earthquake. So I go here to Vileplume, get hit with a knockoff, lose my Black Sludge, but I managed to go for the Strength Sap, get all my HP back, and lower this thing's attack, which is not half bad. The only problem is that I don't really have a lot of. I don't have that kind of recovery. So in any case, my opponent goes for an Earthquake, I go for a Sludge Bomb, he's getting hit with a Toxic. He goes for another Earthquake, I do go for another Sludge Bomb, get a critical hit. Don't really do too much damage, but the Toxic is wearing him down quite a bit. After that, I go for the Strength Sap, which brings me back to 70% HP, which is really nice, even though I've lowered his attack quite a lot. Hits me with another Earthquake. I go for one last Strength Sap, which gives me all the way back up to 85%, which is great, and then Seismitoad dies from the Toxic. Finally, my opponent comes out here, goes into the, I don't even remember what this thing is called. Verizon, and just hits me with the Iron Headbutt, makes me flinch, and then finishes me off after that. And finally, I go here into the Malamar, that's all I have left. He goes into Swords Dance, which is unfortunate, but I hit this thing with a Psychic Cut and completely obliterate this Pokemon here. Afterwards, my opponent goes here to the Johto, the Scrafty here. I hit that thing with a Superpower, get the attack and the defense buff. Fortunately, I get hit with High Jump Kick, survive with 3 HP, unfortunately. All I can do is go for another Superpower, take out the Scrafty, but unfortunately, it's come to my own. So Malamar actually managed to do something in that battle. I'll be honest, I took a while with this Malamar team, because I actually managed to get good matches with Golbat, a bunch of good matches with Golbat, and a good match with Vileplume. Could not get a single match that was good with Malamar, except for this one where he actually killed 2 Pokemon. So that's basically my standard for being good so far. When it comes to these kinds of Pokemon that I don't really know how to use too well and that aren't really great, as long as they go out and they actually do what they're supposed to do, or they at least take out 2 Pokemon, at the very least, sometimes even 1, but at least 2, I'll call that a victory. Stay fresh.